Hello, welcome back to the episode of Me, Myself and You. That's such a rubbish title. Hopefully I'll think of a new name. I'm doing a video format as well. So if you're watching on video, then you know that I'm doing a video format. But if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, then I'm doing a video format as well. It'll be on somewhere on YouTube. I just thought some people quite like watching things rather than just listening to things. I mean, I prefer watching things. Although recently I have just started to just listen to stuff. Because I feel like, and this is such a millennial thing, but and it just kind of says what direction we're going in the world. But I can't eat a good meal without watching. I can't just sit there and eat. If I'm sat by myself, which I am most of the time when I eat, and most of the time in general, I can't just eat. I've got to have something on. It has to be something good as well, and it annoys me when I struggle to find something good. By the time I found something, guys, the food's already gone cold, which is so annoying. But I mean, I mean, you can probably tell I'm a bit ill. You probably already know through my own Snapchat story that I got COVID, which is brilliant. I was actually meant to be at home right now. Have some Manning's carrot cake, have some beautiful Rosendale tap water, lying in my double bed. That was meant to be what happened, but it didn't, which is extremely annoying. I didn't have any symptoms. This is what doesn't make sense. I had none of the clear symptoms, temperature, cough, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have any of them. I thought, let me get this test, and then it'll come back negative, I'll go home, happy days. It'll be just a formality, innit? I come back and I look at my phone and it says it's bloody, well, I don't come back and I look at my phone, it takes a bit of time. But after about an hour or so, it says that it's positive. I couldn't believe it. And do you know what really annoyed me though? I'm going by train, so I had to, I had to obviously get a refund, and you can't change it because it's an open return, some other boring stuff. But basically, I need to get a refund. So I called them and they go, yeah, we can give you a refund, but you'll be deducted £10 or £15. And I thought, I'm getting deducted. So, right, okay, so you're telling me you're going to deduct the amount of money that I've paid, so you're not going to give me a full refund. But I physically can't, I'm not allowed to, legally not allowed to actually get on your train. Unless you want me to give COVID to everyone on your train, I flipping want a full refund. I didn't say it like that, but I was thinking, like, what are you doing? So I said, I said what I said. And then he said, all right, let me look into that. And he looked into it and he came back and he was like, yeah, you can do it. I was like, well, exactly. So you should have told me that in the first place. You shouldn't be like, yeah, this is what you need to do. And he told me how I can get my full refund. I just thought it was just a bit stupid, to be honest. But yeah, I've got COVID. I mean, there are advantages to that. Not to have COVID, obviously, but as in to still being here. I quite like being on my own. It's just quite nice. I get to just be on my own, I guess. I quite enjoy it. What else is there? I can finish off my essays hopefully before I go home. And then I've got another essay first day back, which hopefully I can also finish that before I even go home or do a lot of. But that is the plan. Because initially I wasn't going to record this. I was going to wait until Sunday to record this, the second episode, just because I thought I'd give it a week and a half. We got 45 listens to the first one. If you listen to the first one, fair bloody play to you. I mean, I'm pretty sure like 40 out of 45 of you listened to 2 minutes and was like, yeah, this is a lot of crap. And I very much doubt I'll get 45 people listening to this one. But 45 people, that's a lot of people, man. That's mental, that. Like 45 people could actually be bothered to click that link. Which is just crazy. And some people actually came and gave feedback to me, which I actually really appreciated. Just in terms of audio, or just said that they enjoyed it. Which was actually just really nice, I guess. And again, I'm not really doing this for any other purpose. But just to like kind of, I don't know, it can be a video diary in the future. This could be part of the future GCSE history exam. Yeah, what it was like for a young person during coronavirus. Could be, you never know. I did want to start a diary, but I just thought I can't be bothered starting a diary. I don't write. I haven't wrote in so long on a piece of paper. Everything's on my computer. I've got so much paper in my room that I'm not using any of it because I just do everything on Google Docs now. Just no point. Everything just gets submitted online anyway, so what is the actual point of writing stuff down? But yeah, other than that, since Wednesday, which I think was the day that I recorded the first episode, nothing's really happened. Or was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. I don't know. It was whatever day it was. Hopefully in the next few, or maybe even the next one, we can get someone else on and just talk about how life is and what they're up to and whatever we can kind of come up with. I don't want I don't want to script these out. I don't really want to have anything that I'm gonna like whatever. I can just talk about whatever you want, and if you want to talk about it with me, tell me, and we can talk and we can discuss whatever. Well, yeah, it's a crazy time, isn't it? There's so many things to talk about as well, and I don't really know what to talk about. Do you know what I really wish though? And I was thinking about this whilst in the shower, and that is where my proper like I'm not intellectual or intelligent, but my most intelligent phase is probably when I'm in the shower, because I just stop thinking about random stuff. And I was thinking, like, imagine if like everything we thought was recorded, yeah, and then you could just go back and, because think about how many thoughts we have throughout the day. There are probably some gems in there, but because we just forget about them, like they just disappear. Like, it's mental. Like if they were noted down and recorded, you could go back at the end of the day and look through them all and go, oh, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to work on that. And that's why a lot of these like entrepreneurs, highly successful people say write everything down and have a journal or have a diary, because you know it might work. So I mean that's another reason I guess why I'm doing this. Maybe I'll think of an idea, £1 million idea, and then boom, I'll make £1 million. And the thing is, I know for a fact I've had really good ideas in the past. Like I was just random stuff. I thought, you know what, that would be really helpful. And then I'll think, oh yeah, it would be. It's just I can't bother doing the work. But if I wrote it down, like imagine if I wrote something down 2 years ago, and then I had 6 months off during COVID, the first lockdown, I could have worked on it. Could have been a millionaire. Wouldn't have even come to uni. Which is just is pretty crazy. But yeah, I was thinking about that in the shower, and I just thought it would be mental. But I think you know what I'm going to do. I know I said I wasn't going to script this or like do any sort of, but I think throughout the week, because I want to do one every Sunday, kind of like a nice little sum up at the end of the week. I can discuss what I've been up to during the week. You guys can tell me what you've been up to during the week. We can talk about whatever's gone on. But I think throughout the week I might just put it in my notes, like, oh, this happened. Maybe I could talk about this or that happened. I feel like the main topic in the news is Brexit, to be honest. Honestly, I've actually kind of missed that word. I remember like until about September, the word Brexit was nowhere to be seen in the news. Nowhere. It was just coronavirus. And then now it's popped back up. But I remember I kind of missed it before. I was like, you know what, can we get back to talking about Brexit all the time? But it's interesting. Someone did tell me, and again, when I say someone, I do know who the person is. It's just I just don't want to name them just in case they don't want to be named. Not like this is like a famous podcast, but whatever. Someone did say I should talk about Brexit. Now I don't know if they were actually being serious or whether they were just joking around. And I don't really want to get too political. But if I'm being honest, when it comes to Brexit, I have no idea. I think out of everything in the entire, in terms of like what I know about politics, which is very little, Brexit is probably the topic I know least about and have pretty much no opinion on it, which is just crazy because of how important it was. And it's mental because I remember that when the vote happened, on the 23rd of June 2016, I remember the date exactly, which I don't know why, I'm such a saddle, but I remember the date exactly. And in PSHE we did a mock vote in PSHE. It was just the class with Mr. Howarth, and we did a vote. And there were people that got passionate about Remain, people that got passionate about Leave, and then we had to vote and put it in a box. And I just spot my vote and I put neutral down because I had no idea. Because you've got, and I know some people might come at me for this, but you have got intelligent people on both sides of the debate. And what happens, and what is still happening, is you have one side demonising the other. So rather than actually having a civil debate, what they go is, no, you're a racist, you voted Leave, you don't like immigrants, you don't like Muslims, you don't like this, and you want to do this, and you want to kick everyone out. And it's like, oh no, that's not the case. That's not why everyone voted Leave. Some people might have voted because of that, but not everyone. Definitely not the majority. And then you've got Leave who go, nah, you just voted Remain because you like having unelected bureaucrats, and they use all these big words, and what else is there? What other reasons? Oh, because you're part of the establishment, and what all? It's like, well, no, let's have an actual civil debate. And the issue is, and I've thought of this for a long time now, is there's actually no such thing as good debate anymore. You can't actually have good debate anymore. The best sort of debate you can have, the most productive debate you can have, is actually the debate that you have in your own head, because we have become so divided as a society, not just as a country, but as a society, that we can't even agree on the topic that we're going to debate. It's that bad. And what I mean by that is, and the perfect example was actually a year ago during the 2019 general election, which I can't believe was a year ago. Common Ground, people who voted Common Ground, you are my people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then there's not even point in explaining. Anyway, debate. We're talking about debate. So to have, am I even recording on? Oh man, I don't even think I'm recording the audio version. Right, I'm not recording the audio version, which is I don't even know what time right. Right, I've not even recorded on the podcast app, which I think, to be fair, I did click record, but then I think because I put it on the camera app on my phone, it's basically just, not done it, which is extremely annoying, but I'll figure out how to do something. I don't know what I'm actually doing with this. Anyway, I don't know. Oh yeah, I was talking about actual good. You can't actually have good debate anymore because you can't agree on the topic you're talking about. So with the general election, you are having the debate between Johnson and Corbyn. You had Johnson, who was only talking about Brexit. He was talking about, we've got an oven-ready Brexit ready, which they didn't, as we know. We've got an oven-ready Brexit deal on the table. We're going to leave the European Union, 360 million for the NHS, all that rubbish, that politicians like to spew out. And then you had Corbyn going, Corbyn wasn't talking about Brexit. And the reason why he wasn't talking about Brexit, because his stance wasn't necessarily very clear. He wanted to appeal to Remainers and Leavers, and that flopped, as we all know. He lost. But he was coming out and talking about, we need to properly fund the NHS, and we need to, I know this is not a very good impression of Boris or Jeremy, but it'll do. We need to properly fund the NHS, we need to properly fund our education, and we need to be better at preventing global warming and, go green, etc., right? His main point was the NHS, right? He constantly, we're going to invest in the NHS properly, we're going to invest at the rate of inflation, we're going to make sure that the nurses are paid well, we're going to make sure that we've got the right systems in place to make the NHS the best healthcare system in the world. That's two different topics. You got Corbyn talking about the NHS, you've got Johnson talking about Brexit. So every time Johnson answers, even if it was a question about my dad's ass, right, Johnson would have brought it back to Brexit. He wasn't going to answer the question because his main thing was Brexit. Get Brexit done, nice and simple. That's it. Push that. And what he didn't want to do was talk about the NHS, because he knows that the NHS has not been funded properly since the Conservatives have been there. And the vast majority of Conservatives, that is not a controversial opinion, the vast majority of Conservatives will agree with you, right? That, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. All right, I'm not going to say a vast majority, but some of them will agree, yeah? At least the ones, a few that I know do agree. Not all of them, a few that I know that agree with that. And then you had Corbyn, who just wanted to talk about the NHS. He was like, we're going to fund the NHS. Because obviously he doesn't have a track record of not doing well for the NHS. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not been running it for 10 years. So it's not his fault that it's not doing well, or it's not his party's fault. So he wanted to talk about NHS. But any question about Brexit, no way was he going to answer. It's like, there wasn't a clear answer. So they were debating about two different things and refusing to debate about the same thing. And this is what happens it happens with everything now. Nothing is properly debated. Nothing. Even the presidential debates between Biden and Trump, they were awful. They were even worse. The reason why they were worse was because the point for both of them was, we need to just sound decent so that people vote for us. The vast majority of Americans that voted did not change their view after watching those debates. They just wouldn't have, because they weren't good debates. Neither of them were making actual decent points. They were just trying to get sound bites in there. And do you know what's funny is I watched a reaction to the debate from people that supported Donald Trump. And they were like, yeah, Donald Trump won that debate. He did really well. He answered the questions properly. Biden was rubbish, blah, 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 blah. Then I also watched a reaction to the same debate from people who supported Biden. Biden won. Biden did well. He answered the question. He was straightforward. Like, people were going to vote for Biden. So because of their perspective, they're not going to change their perspective. Only people that had already decided who they're going to vote for, the debate was there. But, these debates are pointless. Now, I do still think they should happen, but I think there's a better way of handling them. I think, and again, this was an idea that I came up in the shower. I think what they should do is so have more than one debate, obviously. Let's say you have 3 debates, okay? You have 3 debates on at 3 different times, and these debates are an hour long, okay? And they're on one topic only. First debate is just on NHS.
Because essentially, when your topic is just on NHS, and if Johnson is constantly talking about Brexit, the people are going to realise this guy doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to the NHS. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but you know what I mean, as an example. Then if the next one's about Brexit, and he keeps on going back to the NHS, Corbyn, or something like that, then the country's going to think, well, Corbyn doesn't know anything about Brexit. So it kind of makes things a little bit clearer. I don't know whether it'll work. I don't think it's realistic for that to happen because of, you know, TV shows and TV channels wanting to talk about everything and anything. But these debates are pointless. They're useless. They're like, how can you talk about a topic like Brexit for 15 minutes and go, right, we're up. The moderator going, right, no, that's it. We're finished about Brexit. 15 minutes. This is going to change everyone's life. We were debating this for years, right? And we're going to talk about it for 15 minutes with the leaders. It doesn't necessarily make any sense. But what can you do? Are we going to have a deal? Are we not going to have a deal? Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, at the end of the day, the virus is going to have a bigger impact on us than Brexit could have ever done. So, but you know what's going to happen? Is we're going to leave the European Union. You're going to have Remainers go, the country is in an absolute S-hole because of Brexit. That's what they're going to say. You're going to have Leavers go, the country is actually in a better position than it would have been, but because of the coronavirus pandemic, we're in a rubbish situation right now. So you know what? We're probably never actually going to find out whether Brexit was good or not, which is so annoying because it was an answer that I was quite looking forward to. I was like, come on, man, there has to be a proper answer. Because I thought, let's say if we didn't have coronavirus, then at least right now we would be like, right, we're going to find out the real answer, whether it was good or whether it was bad. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And that is Brexit. I mean, that is politics for this week. I'm joking. I'm trying to think of other stuff that people kind of asked to talk about. I don't have anything to say. I feel like I have things to say during the week and then I'll just forget them. Like, I can't remember. I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, it's nearly Christmas, which is quite exciting. I've been trying to watch more Christmas films, you know, trying to get in a bit of the... I mean, I don't know why I'd want to get into the festive spirit. I don't celebrate it. But Christmas films are always good films, you know. So I watched all the Home Alones. And I don't know about anyone else, but Harry Potter is always... I feel like it's Christmas films. So I always end up watching them this time. I think it's because they come on every... I mean, I was listening to the Jack Mate podcast, and Mark Gilbridge, who was the guest, he was talking about it. And he was saying they're always on during Christmas time, aren't they? Or just roughly like towards the end of the year. I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I associate them with Christmas. And I just end up binge watching them all, which I shouldn't be doing because I've still got those 3 essays to do for Wednesday. But you got to have fun as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping I can get quite a lot done on Monday, get it all finished done on Tuesday, and then submit it. I had a banging headache for so long, and I don't think I even ended up finishing talking about this. I had such a bad headache, and I thought this was a symptom, because it's not a symptom of coronavirus, but I guess it's just a symptom that I've got. But it's kind of gone now, and I was so scared because I thought it's because I'm stressed out that I've got this headache. But I guess it was because of coronavirus, which is good. But it was bad. Like, I'd wake up in the morning and I felt it straight away, and I thought I'm definitely stressed out. But it's because of corona, which is both good and bad. Not corona is good, but the fact that the headaches from corona is bad. But yeah, there's a lot to kind of talk about, isn't it? I mean, you can talk about whatever. I'm not really too sure what to talk about right now. Oh, I can't wait to drink water from home again. I am missing that so much. I'm fed up of apple squash and Robinsons and all that rubbish. I had 10 full litre bottles of water of Robinson summer fruits that I went through this term. So I had at least one massive bottle, like 2 litre bottle of double strength. I think there's 1.5 litre bottle, 70 cups worth of juice in that, and I would go through one of them every week. So I'd have 10 cups. Because I drink loads of water, but I don't like the water here. So I had to go through juice, so I can't wait to drink the water, honestly. Yeah, I had some nice food. I bought an Indian yesterday. I got an Indian takeaway. And I had some biryani left over, chicken biryani. It was very nice. I love a good Indian takeaway. I kind of miss working at the takeaway as well. I still want a proper Chinese. I've never had a proper Chinese. Like, I went to Oodles, and that was nice, but I still don't feel like that's a proper Chinese. I want a proper Chinese with, like, spring roll. I want beef from a Chinese, because apparently beef, like, I can't remember what it's called, like shredded beef, I think, or something like that. I want to try that, because I heard it's really nice. But I'm still yet to find a halal place where I can get halal Chinese. Trying to think of the other stuff that someone kind of talked about. I mean, to be fair, I was thinking about this, and it wasn't actually this week that I was thinking about this, but I was thinking about this late last week. Just in terms of universities and just education and how far behind education. I know I'm talking about so much about universities, but whatever. And but I was thinking about education, how far education is behind, how far behind education is in terms of the actual real world. Like, it's so reliant on books and reading books, and it tries to be modern because it, now you can submit stuff online, you can email your teacher and all that stuff. But the core of it, university and just education in general, is still extremely behind. What I mean by that is the reliance on books, and I'm not saying books are pointless, but to go through 4 books now is just useless, because all you actually need to do is get the book, be able to search a few keywords, and then it'll scan it for you automatically. So say you had a book on I'm trying to think of something on chocolate, right? But you only wanted to learn about dark chocolate. You put in dark chocolate, it'll highlight every part of the book, or the section of the book that talks about dark chocolate. So all you have to do is read that. Like, you don't actually have to read anything. And I get you need to get the context of everything and blah, 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 blah. But in uni, you're expected to, like, read the whole thing. I mean, they tell you you need to scan it. When I scan it and I go to the seminar, they're asking questions. I've not a flipping clue. I'm like, I don't know, because you told me to scan it. So I've basically stopped scanning, and now I'm just reading I'm not reading the whole thing anymore. I'm doing that thing that I said of just, like, kind of searching it. But, it's just in general so far behind. And I don't know, even with my own degree, I'm doing history and international relations, and I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, I can't remember, but I've thought about this so much. Like, with my history and international relations degree, what am I actually going to do with my life with that? You know what I mean? It's so pointless when you think about it. Because it's like, yeah, I can go into here and here, but realistically, I'll probably just end up in finance like every other Tom, Dick and Harry. So what's the point? So, like, if you can find, and this is what I put on my story the other day, is that if you're in year 13 right now, take a gap year. And there's many reasons for that. For the first reason is your uni year, first year, will probably be very, very similar, if not the same, as my uni experience, or this year's first year uni experience. And ideally, you're paying this much money, you only go to uni once, I guess. You want the best experience, so just wait another year. Second, you've got a year to find something that you really want to do, or you've got a year of just making money. So if you're making money, well, then you've got something sorted for yourself, and a nice established amount of money in your bank, and you can maybe buy a car or whatever, and that's great. So there's that advantage. Or if you actually go out and just find something to do, like maybe an internship, maybe an apprenticeship, something, you might find something that you really want to do, and that thing could be something that you could go on to do forever. Like, there's so much out there outside of university, and I know it's going to be hard because of COVID and that, but just do it, man. Because even as much as I'm glad that I've come to Reading, I think Reading's done amazing things in terms of what they've had to deal with coronavirus and stuff. I think I've come to the right uni, but I do often think, what if I took a gap year? I would have been making money, I would have been doing something, I would have been getting experience, I would have been getting more experience than people my own age, at least people that I would have been in my course. So I do think that quite a lot, and I think it'd be a good decision. So if you're happy at home, if you enjoy being at home, and home is a nice place to be, then I would seriously consider just doing a year of making money or getting some experience under your belt, because it isn't going to do you any harm. You're going to be a year behind your own year group, but who cares? The year group thing is all finished now. Once you finish year 13, that's it, it's done. There's no such thing as year groups. You know, you're no longer competing with people your same age. Once you've gone to uni, you're competing with everyone now. You know what I mean? When you're 16, you're competing with all the other 16-year-olds in maths. But now I'm competing with everyone else. So whether it's a 40-year-old doing history and international relations, or whether it's, you know, I go for a job or whatever, I'm not competing. If the job doesn't go right, we're only taking it. But they're not going to compare me with another 16-year-old. They're going to compare me with another 30-year-old if they have to. And they're going to go, right, what does he offer? What does that guy offer? Like, the year group. So if you're a year behind, there's actually technically no such thing as being a year behind. You're not, you know, because you can't actually compare. There's nothing for you to compare yourself against, if you know what I mean. Like, and so there's no harm in doing it. So getting that year's worth of experience could actually, if anything, you'd probably be technically a year ahead because you've got that experience under your belt. So let's say you're doing a 3-year uni degree, right? Okay, so you start a year after, but you have a year experience. So say you're thinking of taking a gap year, and in the next year you're going to go to university and you're going to do history, okay? So you go, right, I want to do history, but I'm not too sure. I'm going to do a few months working or doing an internship or doing an apprenticeship in the local council or in, you know, an MP's office or whatever. Something within that kind of relates to your degree. Well, you could have 6 months, 1 month, a year worth of experience in that kind of sector. You'll go into your into uni, you'll be a first year. No, vast majority of other people won't have that sort of experience. You'll do first year, you'll do second year, and if you've got a placement year, well then in that year, when you're applying for placements, you can go, well, I've already worked at council. I worked at council for 6 months. I worked at council for 3 months. I worked at council for a year. So the sort of things that I might be doing, well, I've got some sort of familiarities. I don't know. Like I'm somewhat familiar to what I'll be doing. So you like the role that you're applying for in the placement year, you might have worked with someone who had that role in your first year, and they might have told you something about it. Like, it's just something extra. And I know it's quite hypocritical for me to say because I'm doing my first year and I didn't take gap year. But I'm saying in terms of what I probably might have done different is just taking a gap year. And just kind of thinking. And again, what the sort of gap year you have will depend on how useful it is. So I was speaking to one of my friends, and he was talking about how I said to him, you know, I should have done the gap year. And he was like, nah, man, you don't want to do a gap year. I've just got friends who are just like lying at home. And I said, well, yeah, because they're just lying at home. Or they're actively looking for a job. Nah, they're just playing PlayStation. Well, yeah, if they're just playing PlayStation, then there's not much that they're not actively doing something. Whilst then I've got another friend who's gone out, is working quite a lot, making a lot of money, enjoying life, going out with her friends when she can, and she's also doing well for herself. She's got another job, and it's something that when I messaged her, she said it's her dream job. So she's, you know, and potentially maybe she'll go, you know what, forget going to uni, I'm going to do this for my living, or I'm going to set up a business, or something like that. Just practical experience. So it can't actually do you any harm. And I feel like people put down people that say that they want to do a gap year because they automatically assume, oh, this person just wants to travel and chill out and not do any work. Well, no, you could do that. You could be someone that goes, I just sort of want to travel. And you've got every right to do that. You are young, yeah? Life, you've got no responsibilities. If you want to travel, I know it's hard with Corona, but if you want to flip and travel for a year, you go, get on that stupid plane and go and fly away and do whatever the hell you want to do. It's your life. And, you know, you shouldn't let you're going to be 18 years old, man. 80, you are a baby in the grand scheme of things, right? The vast majority of us are probably going to, you know, live to like 90, okay? So if you're 18, you're what? Oh crap, I shouldn't have done that. Right, let's pretend you live until you're 100, right? I can't work the maths out. So if your average life expectancy is 100 and you're 18, you're only 18% into your life. 18%. You're nothing. So if you want to spend 1% of your life just traveling, exploring, and learning new things, do it. It's your life. If there's one thing that we've probably learned from this COVID thing, is to, you know, appreciate, you know, the little things, but also do the big things that we've always told ourselves that we want to do, but we don't have the time for it. Go out and travel, go see the world, explore the world. It's massive. Like, one of my kind of goals in life, if I had a bucket list, which I really should actually make, but if I had a bucket list that I'd put down, is one of the things that I really want to do in my life is I want to have a year where I travel 12 times to 12 different places once every month. So take a weekend off every single month, or a weekend off every other month, so 6 times, and go to another country, right? And I'm not talking taking, I literally mean, like, because you can get flights that are like 30 quid, right? I'm talking France, I'm talking Germany, I'm talking Netherlands, I'm talking, Poland, really cheap places. And I'm not saying this is going to be cheap as chips, but what I am saying is if you budget properly, you can do that. That is one of my goals. Because then, if I did that for a year, I'll have been to 6 different places, I'll have had 6 different experiences, and I'll have 6 different travel destinations for the future that I can go, you know what? I went to Krakow, yeah? I know 2 people that went to Krakow and they flipping loved it. But I went to Krakow for the weekend, that one time. I'm going to go again, but this time I'm going to go for 2 weeks. You have experienced a place for a decent price. And I'm not saying don't get the fancy hotel, don't get the fancy flight. Genuinely, just go there, stay on Airbnb, rent a little place, however much it costs, and just go for walks in another country, something to give you some sort of experience, and I bet it'll be great. And if you want to do that next year, do it. I don't know how likely it is for you to do that next year, so you probably won't be able to do that next year. But we've got to explore, man. You've got to explore. We're so trapped in our own little worlds and by our own people and the people that we surround ourselves with, because they tell us, oh, it's not realistic, oh, it's this, it's that. Even in sixth form, and I love the sixth form that I went to, but even in sixth form, you cannot tell me that most people weren't kind of at least given a little push to go to university, like a little shove. Like, yeah, go to university. Yeah, that's the way. It's still there. The mentality is still there of everyone should go to university, when it's just a load of rubbish. I mean, the fact that and it's actually done a bad thing and I've talking for way too long. This is going to be like 30 minutes. I said I wanted this for like 25 minutes. And it's the last thing I'll say. The fact that they've pushed so many people to get into degrees, now everyone's got a degree, and it's become saturated. And now if you've all got to go for getting a first class degree now. Or what ends up happening is people get a degree and then they go into something that's nothing to do with their degree, because a degree has become so pointless right now, because everyone's got it, because everyone was told to get it. When if you still made degrees, like, they shouldn't be on a level, whether you've got a degree or whether you've not got a degree, it shouldn't matter in terms of what your value as a person. All that should matter is the sort of job that you might go into. Not even necessarily, like, if you want to be a doctor, of course you need a degree. Let's not be stupid, okay? But it doesn't change the value, or it doesn't even change how intelligent you are or whatsoever. It just changes what sort of interest you've got and what you want to do with your life, yeah? But what they've done is they've pushed so many people to go into degrees that it's become completely saturated. Now everyone on their CV now puts that they've got a degree, and it's so stupid. Because there's not as many opportunities out there for people that don't want to really get a degree to get an apprenticeship or, earn some money somewhere or do a job. Because the education, and it goes back, this is such a good full circle, because it goes, I mean, it's not a complete circle because I didn't start talking about this, but it goes back to the whole point of education being an old system that doesn't actually work. Because we're all stroked with the same paintbrush, or whatever the flipping saying is. We're all essentially treated the same. And if you don't comply, you're the bad lad, or you end up being labelled as, labelling sociology right there, you end up being labelled as someone that's not going to do well. And that's why in society we put down so many jobs. Like, we put down the plumber, we put down the carpenter, we put down the refuse collectors, the bin men, if you don't know. We put those jobs down, but those jobs, those jobs are the only jobs that that actually kept the economy going for the last however many years, or however many months, sorry. Right? These, like, nurses or whatever, or cleaners in hospitals. How important have cleaners been in hospitals for the last 9 months? They have been. Do you know what? No one's actually talked about this, right? As important as doctors and nurses have been, and I'm not denying that, no one's talked about. I'm sorry that I'm screaming, but no one's talked about the fact of how important cleaners have been, right? Because if you don't have bloody clean anything, mate, we've seen it. Everything needs to be sanitized now. I've got a bloody stupid little antibacterial thing right here next to me because I'm going to wipe this whole thing down. Do you know what I mean? Like, cleaners, right? They don't get paid the most amount of money in the world, but they're important. And this is what I mean, that your degree or whatever education you got does not give you a certain value. And it's a mentality thing as well, because people that do have degrees end up thinking, yeah, I've got a degree, I'm a big man now, yeah, whatever. But no, mate, all you've got is a few letters next to your freaking name, yeah? Just because you've got BSc HONS or BA HONS or some other rubbish like that doesn't actually mean anything. It just says that you've done something. Well done. You know, I could probably finish a box of celebrations. You don't put me in, you don't put my name in and brackets next to it saying he can finish a box of celebrations. It's not. You know, it's an achievement. Again, don't get me wrong. It is a bloody achievement if you've got a degree. If you've got a first class degree, 2-2, 2-3, third, whatever, you got a degree. It is an achievement. You know, but I don't know. People sort of overhype it and make it out to be, you know, the most amazing thing in the world when it really isn't. There's so much more to life. And I'm telling you, and again, I'm saying this as a student, the same age as anyone else that's listening, if anyone is listening. So I have no experience. I'm not an employer. But if I was an employer, I'd probably more likely employ someone that actually has real life experience, like world experiences. And this is why I sort of have a problem with teachers. And I know I said I was going to make a final point, but this is my final point, I promise. It's not like you're forced to listen to this. So if you're really that bored, then just pause it. You know what I mean? That's actually true. When like people say, "Oh, yeah, I'll finish on this one," but if you want to go, then just go. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna carry on as long as I goddamn want to, okay? And you can't do anything about it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like teachers that go into teaching and they've never been outside the education system. So they'll go through school, they'll go to sixth form, they'll go to university, then they'll go straight back into a school. No experience. Now, I'll say the only place that is okay is primary school and early high school. Like, I'm talking about probably all of high school actually. But other than that, like, because at that point, you're not going to be really taught life skills. And that's another question about why school doesn't teach life skills. But you're not going to be talking about how you tried to buy a house the other day, or how you were in, like, you're not going to be in front of reception kids talking about how, oh, I remember when I was 17 and I had to do this and that. You're there to teach them. So in that sense, all you actually have to be is a really good teacher. And you can definitely do that, and that's perfectly okay. But once you're in, sort of teaching year 11s, 12s and 13s, then you've got to have some sort of experience, because then you're going to talk to students as almost like an equal relationship, and you've got to be able to offer them something more than just the curriculum. You've got to be able to tell them stuff, because those are the most interesting lessons. The most interesting lessons are from people that can offer you more, that can give you more and make you interested in topics outside of the actual curriculum, because they've got experience in that. So I don't know the point that I was making out of that. I think I was just trying to say it. Basically, this whole show has just been about how the education system is completely messed. I mean, the fact that the education system doesn't teach us basic skills, like how to do your taxes, what taxes are, mortgages, difference between mortgages and bloody leasing and all this other stuff, and renting. And, like, we've got these sort of different mindsets or like beliefs, because someone said, like, we demonize renting and make it out to be the worst. It's like, never rent, never rent, never rent. Right, so is my dad going to give me £200,000 to bloody buy a house in London? No, I don't think so. Is my dad going to give me 50k to buy a house in Haslingden? No, I don't think so. So I have to rent. Do you know what I mean? But we demonize renting, or we demonize financing a car. Like, we demonize so many different... Again, and it goes back to demonizing. Oh my God, you know what the best thing about this episode has been? Is I've circled everything. I mean, it's a complete mess, but there's little circles everywhere, which is brilliant. But, we don't get taught these things, and it's so stupid. I got taught so many... Like, even if it was just... Imagine if it was just an hour a week where we taught actual life skills. Like, actual life skills. Like, even if it's just something simple as knowing how to change your tire. I have no idea how to change a tire on a car. If I had a car, I would have no idea what to do. And I know people who have cars who have no idea how to change a tyre in their car. Like, or on the, they have no idea. They just call up someone from home. Like, they'll call up their mum, they'll call up their dad, they'll call up their uncle or their brother or their sister, someone who else who does know, right? And they'll bring them over and then just tell them, can you help just change or something? Like, just basic stuff like that we just don't know. It's just stupid, isn't it? It's completely ridiculous. Bloody hell, it's 10:15. And it just shows why the education system is completely messed up. But yeah, it was nice ranting to you people. Again, give me some feedback. 45 people listened to the first one. I still can't believe that. That is mental, right? It went from 14 overnight, it went to 30. And then by the end of that day, it went to 35, and now it's on 45, which is just crazy. So like, comment, and subscribe. No, I'm joking. Although I am putting this video on YouTube, so you should like, comment, and subscribe. And it will be hopefully on Spotify and podcasts and what have you. But I'm going to have to actually play this and record it on something else and then put it on thing because it didn't play. I don't know why I'm telling this. You don't care. Anyway, hope you all have a nice week. If you need anything, give me a message. If you want me to talk about something, give me a message. And right, I'm not recording the audio version, which is I don't even know what time the right.